Welcome back, StowTV. We've got a 3-2 win. Walthamstow against Saffron Walden. Vinny, game in two halves really. First half really dominant, second half not so much. What do you think?
Yeah, it was a weird one. Even in the first half, you say dominant. I don't feel like we was for the first sort of 10-15. I feel like we took a while to get into our stride, if you like. I was expecting them to come out a lot faster with like the point to prove and their tails up, because you know it's FA Cup, anything can happen. But I feel like they was happy to sit in, and we played into their hands a little bit in the first sort of 10 or 15. But then after that, when the boys really got moving and put their foot on it, yeah, I genuinely, like, no disrespect to them, we've gone to war with Saffron Walden many a time, but when we started playing, I don't feel like they could live with us. No. Granted, there's a few goals you would put down to individual errors from them, but the individual errors are forced. Do you know what I mean? And it's not just come out of the blue. The individual errors have come from good pressure from us and good anticipation for us. So yeah, it was a strange one really. There was never really no moment in the game where I felt like super comfortable, like I will cruise this. So fair play to them. They definitely sort of kept at it for 90 minutes, but I do feel like, I don't want to sound disrespectful or sort of put them down, but I do feel like sort of quality shone through in the end. Maybe it's fitness levels, maybe it's just out and out quality, but I do feel like we deserved to win the game, sorry, definitely.
Tony, it takes character to win a game like that. We went 2-0 up, then at 2-1 it's uncomfortable, it's tight. Then again at 3-2 it's tight and it's hard going. They played an inexplicable amount of injury time. How proud are you of that the team stuck together and stuck in and did what we had to do?
Yeah, so, you know, firstly, it was disappointing in the way that we came out in the second half and allowed them back in the game. And they had a real long spell of putting us under pressure. And like what you say, you know, at the end of the day, you know, all you can do is show that character, keep competing, keep the ball out the back of the net. And in the end, we done that. We earned the right to get the ball back, and then we went and nicked one at the other end. You know, so it's something that we spoke about. You know, really talented bunch of football players, you know, but have we got the character when things ain't going well to pull us through games? And we've done that today.
Very good. You said like it wasn't that pretty for 90 minutes necessarily. A football that probably isn't that pretty, but today effective Brian Moses. He's got 2 for us. That's really what he's here for, right? He's going to get us goals when we need them, right?
Listen, he plays in that area of the pitch where the expectation is goals. Like, there's no two ways about it, and ultimately we don't care how they go in. It can be a screamer from 30 yards, which is very rare for Brian Moses, or it can be a scrappy, put a defender under pressure and nick one. So I don't care how they go in, but if Brian's done what Brian does today. He's a handful. He's a pain in the backside for anyone that he's playing against, and he done that really well today. But touching on what you just said, as there are pros and cons to this game like any, but the positive thing for me is, you say it wasn't a pretty game. It's never going to be a pretty game when, again, no disrespect, you play against an opposition that only does that. Every throw, every corner, every time they're in good possession, it goes straight down your throat and you're forced to deal with it. And a big positive for us today is we've dealt with that for 90 minutes. Granted, they've scored twice, but if you look at the 2 goals haven't come from direct football. The 2 goals have come from a goalmouth scramble in the box, which arguably we should have done better with. And the other one's a decent strike from the kid, but still we should have got out to it. But the positive for me is we've dealt with real old-fashioned non-league football, like straight down your throat for 90 minutes, and I felt like the boys done well. And that's a test physically, that's a test mentally to stay switched on. So that's a big positive for me. Obviously disappointing to let teams feel like they can creep into games by conceding poor goals, but it's not all bad. It's our first win in the season in all competitions, so I take it all day long. It's definitely something to build on, and yeah, just pleased for the boys, pleased to get off the mark, because you know if you go 1, 2, then it becomes 3, and then it becomes 4 without getting a win, sort of things will start playing in the back of their head. So it was good to sort of get the cobwebs out and get that bit of doubt, like, oh, is it really going to work? So yeah, there's big positives today, but there's absolutely stuff to work on. Definitely, there always will be, but it's football.
Tony, in terms of competition for places, we've got a big squad at the moment for non-league, but maybe 16, 17 people that could be starting right now. Jared Smalls played 90 minutes today, and there is so much competition all over the pitch. How do we handle that in terms of making sure everyone gets enough game time to stay happy here and we get the best out of us on the pitch?
Yeah, so, you know, for me, at the end of the day, you're going to need a squad. You know, to have a really good, positive season and to achieve the things that we want in cup competitions, in the league, you're going to need 16 players, 16 good players that can push each other in training, you know, and really compete against each other. You know, so what we just try and do is that everybody's part of this journey. You know, so the guys that are sitting on the bench and waiting to get on, they should just be ready to come on and prove a point, take their opportunity, and then stick someone else on the bench. You know, but I'd rather have 16 players that compete for a first team spot than looking at the bench and then going, well, I'm not sure if I can bring him on. So it's good to have strength in depth. You know, and we've got there's a good team bond. You know, we're together. You know, and we're all fighting to, you know, do good things for the club this year.
Final thing, Vin, I know last week they took a bit of treatment in the dressing room for how it went. Today wasn't perfect, it wasn't everything we want. Bit of a happier place to be though, right?
Yeah, of course. A win's always going to be an happier place. Like I'm always going to have something to say. I'm that sort of person. Ask my missus, she'll vouch for that. But
they never get a free ride, do they?
Nah, not at all. They've got a little bit of a bye today. I'm not really saying too much, but we'll go over it in depth on Tuesday. So, like I said, I'm just relieved and glad to sort of get off the mark and really build from that and push from that. So, and listen, FA Cup's a lottery as well. Like, regardless of the levels, regardless of what league you are, what step you are, it don't matter. On the FA Cup, it's whoever fancies it more. You've seen teams from the lower leagues go 3, 4, 5 rounds. So today was never going to be about, oh well, we play step whatever and they play step. So I'm just pleased that the boys looked at it as 11v11, didn't look at it as a walkover, an easy ride, and went out there and competed for 90 minutes. So yeah, they won't get too much of a battering today, but we'll definitely go through things on Tuesday.
Thank you, Vinny.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Well done.